What is up, everybody? This is your boy Claymore coming to you with another video. And as you can see, there's the nightstand right here, which means I actually have a new bed. So, rest in peace, my old bed. I had it for like 12 years. Anyways, so as you can see in the top of the video, I actually came across a Snapchat story about the whole super straight, and there's an individual. Not really sure if it's a boy or girl, whatever, but there's an individual who's speaking on it. But my opinion on this whole super straight thing is honestly, to me, is dumb. Like, being straight literally means you only date the opposite gender. So if you're a man, that means you only date women. And if you're a woman, you only date men. That's self-explanatory. And if a guy cuts up his body to make him appear like a female, he's still a man. So if this trans woman, quote unquote, comes up to a man and the man's like, no, I don't date guys, he's still technically being straight. So I just find the whole situation dumb. And another thing that I kind of noticed is this individual kept saying the word transphobic. I get so annoyed when people use the wrong freaking label, the wrong term to describe a person's behavior, action, or whatever. Like, if you take the word transphobic or homophobic or astrophobic, arachnic phobic, or any other phobic, phobic is, it means phobia, which means irrational fear. So if you put arachna, which is, I believe, the Latin term for spider, so phobia, which is irrational fear of spiders, arachnophobia. So if you were to say transphobic, that is an irrational fear of transgenders, which means fear does not mean prejudice. Fear means scared. If you look up the definition, fear is under the synonyms of terror, afraid, frightful. You're in the fight or flight reflex of the human brain. Fear more likely makes a person flee. So I'm not going to judge a person if I'm scared of them. I'm not going to treat them I'm not going to treat whatever I am fearful of any different than if I wasn't. I would be running. Like me, I don't do snakes. What you doing, Spleens? She's licking herself. Anyways, if I see a snake and I had, whatever the term phobia for snakes are, I would not be thinking, oh, that's an a-hole of a snake. That's a mean snake, whatever, whatever. I would be running to get as much distance between me and the potential threat. So when I hear people who simply just don't date men, like me, I don't date guys. And I don't date guys who have a mental disability, which incorporates transgenders, because that's basically what it is. You can believe in whatever you want to believe in. That's not my part to judge you on what you believe in. But the biological 100% fact of our species and the species of everything that isn't asexual, because we humans, most mammals and most fishes, most birds are all bisexuals. They're basically two sexes. And so in order to procreate, you need a male of the species to reproduce with a female of the same species. That's how we have babies. This shouldn't be news to somebody. So when a transgender person says that they are a trans woman, what they are literally saying is, I am a man who has been surgically cut up, stitched together Frankenstein style, and I am pretending to be a female. I'm not a 100% scientists in terms of the specific genomes of which gene affects hair, which genes affects growth, whatever. I don't know the whole specifics of all that, but with just enough common sense to know that it takes a man to have a certain setup. His genes must be set up a certain way because most guys look like me. We are not look like me, but basically they have similar properties. That's what I have. I have bigger muscles. I'm a little bit taller. My voice is a little bit deeper. I got beard hair. And then if I look at a female like my girlfriend, she is completely different. She has bigger chest. She has bigger hips and thighs and butt, and she's got longer hair. Her voice is a lot more high pitched. There's differences in her physiology than mine. So if I were just to chop off my ween and put a pair of chests under here to look like this does not make me female. I'm still male. I'm just a guy who has a weird obsession with thinking something about myself that's not. So transphobia, or being super straight, quote unquote, does not equal transphobic, because transphobic does not mean prejudice towards a specific person. It is a irrational fear of that person. And everyone knows an irrational fear is something that really doesn't make sense. What this is basically, what I think is going on with just my personal experiences and my personal preference, is my attraction is not to the same sex. If I am a guy, my biological primitive instinct is to find a female to mate, to reproduce, and have offspring. That's what is wired into every single man. Whether you want to admit that you act on it or not, that's irrelevant. The fact that it is there, it is biologically wired. Some people choose not to do it, that's on them. Some people choose to go off the rails. Again, that's on them. So I really don't agree with this individual on this Snapchat story about saying how guys who are super straight are transphobic. No, stop putting the wrong or stop using the wrong terms. Like it's annoying, because if someone is, let's just for an example, in today's time, apparently a lot of people are terms that do not even apply to them. People being called a racist because they have a different opinion. That's not what racism is. Or people are wanting a daughter to dress a certain way, so they must be sexist towards them. No. Everything in the world, basically biology sense, has a system that works. That's why the human species has progressed, how it's kept keeping itself alive, how most animals have. Because the biology literally says you can't do it with this one of the same species because nothing happens. A male seed cannot go into a male body and procreate. And likewise, a female egg can't go into I don't know how that would even happen, couldn't go into another female and impregnate her. It won't happen. So to the guy the girl, the person that's in this Snapchat, please stop using, and this actually applies to everybody, stop using these wrong terms. Homophobic, transphobic, whatever other type of phobic. If it is not an irrational fear of that thing, do not use it. You can say this person is prejudiced towards, gay people, black people, women, whatever. That's completely fine, because prejudice is the prejudging of a person before you know them, which I have seen a lot of people do that. But to say that they're homophobic or transphobic or whatever else, no. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all staying for my little rant. This is your boy Claymore. Peace.